Hey y'all, Katie here with Team EvoAZ at eXp Realty. Thank you so much for listening to our show. We are super excited for this season. As you know, we are based in the Phoenix, Arizona area, but what you may not have known is that we're growing our team nationwide, and we have already started. So if you know of anybody that is looking to buy or sell throughout the country, no matter what state it's in, please contact us. We'd be happy to help. We'd be happy to offer advice. And if you know of anybody that is either getting into the real estate industry or is looking for an awesome change in their career and in their lives, we are also hiring real estate agents across the country. Thanks again and enjoy the show.
I already told you I was ready.
Oh, he already told us he was ready, you guys. All right. It is real with Matt and Katie, and unfortunately, Matt could not be with us this morning, so we have his sidekick. Can you introduce yourself, sir?
Hi, my name's Jackson.
Jackson who?
Lambert.
Can you tell that he's Matt's sidekick? He looks just like him. So we have Jackson here with us today to have this conversation with Mr. Alex. And of course, we have our very favorite buyer agent extraordinaire on the call with us today. Say hello, Alex.
What's up, everybody? How are you doing today?
Thanks for your time. I always love chatting with you. You have so much insight because I know you work with a lot of our clients. So thank you for that.
Of course, I love being on.
Yeah, right? You do a great job. Except for I know you have a new puppy over there right now, so.
Yeah, she might cause a little havoc in between, so hopefully you don't see me scrambling out of here anytime soon.
If you have to run off the camera really quick, I know why. I'll carry it for you.
We're potty training right now, and that's going, it's debatable how that's going, so yeah.
All the fun stuff. So tell me a little bit about what's going on. Now, just so that everybody knows, Alex and I work quite a bit together, and Alex and I both share buyers and sellers, but he's kind of more leans toward the buyer agent type hat, and I lean more toward the listing agent type hat. So I'll tell you a little bit about what's going on in the market for me. But first, Alex, what's been happening with your buyers? What are you seeing out there? What are the repeat obstacles, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so it kind of goes hand in hand with the market right now. So now we're in a seller's market, meaning we have a low inventory of homes and a high amount of buyers that are looking for properties right now. So what that obviously means is a lot of competition. This market, this competition has also been sprung on by low interest rates as well. So these buyers are taking advantage of these low interest rates. So we got a lot of people shopping for a home right now, meaning whenever we got a good property on the market that's priced well, that's nice, move-in ready, all of those things, it's been multiple offers almost every single time that I've came around, especially homes that are listed in the median price range, which the median price range right now in Maricopa County, Phoenix area is going to be around $328,000. So if you're looking in that price range, you are going to see a little bit of competition. You may see a little bit of multiple offers. So you may be, kind of in a little bit of a bidding war right now.
Yeah, it's definitely been crazy, and I've been experiencing the same thing. And just a couple of key points with what you mentioned. I have to say interest rates and obviously the month's inventory, but interest rates are a huge driving factor right now. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, you got to think about it because Phoenix is the highest growing in price right now. One of the highest growing, I think it was top 3 in the United States. But it kind of, with the low interest rates, it still makes sense. So you're still getting a low monthly payment. So that's why all these buyers are taking advantage of it, because they know Phoenix is growing in equity every single year. And why not get it at the lowest interest rates that we're going to see? Maybe going to see.
Well, so, and we haven't seen these interest rates in like 50 years. So it's been quite some time when it's been this inexpensive to leverage somebody else's money, basically.
Absolutely. I agree.
And I think it's just an important point to hang on for another minute longer, because it does make it a little bit more affordable for people out there with having the lower interest rate. There was let me pull it up on my screen here real quick. there was a graphic that we shared on our Team EvoAZ Facebook page. I think it was last week, which was really interesting. Let me share it here. Can you see that?
Yep, I can see it.
And so basically it's just an example, like, okay, if here we are right now and the prices are at 350, and here's our 2.5% interest rate. I mean, it depends, right? There's a few factors that go into what the actual interest rate is that you'll close on. But I believe they're right around this area, maybe 2.75 actually, probably. But for the purposes of this example, it's at 2.5, and you see the monthly payment here.
Yeah.
So now let's just say if the market crashes, and which we're not really seeing any of that right now, but if prices go down, which again, not in the foreseeable future as far as I'm concerned, and the interest rates will inevitably go up if that happens, look at what the monthly payment is.
Yeah. I think I'd like to be stuck at that lower monthly payment right there.
Right. So a lot of times, I'm hearing from some buyers here and there, oh, we're just going to hang around and wait to buy until prices become more reasonable. Well, first of all, when is that going to be? I don't know when that's going to be. I don't think prices are unreasonable. I mean, if you compare us to other destinations, let's face it, Phoenix is a destination area.
Absolutely.
If you compare us to other destination locations, I feel like we're doing pretty well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about job growth, you think about obviously being a destination, you think about price of living here. All of that makes us a destination for people to be moving here. And we are getting people moving here in droves. So I feel like we're just going to increase prices even higher and higher every single year. I think for those people, they're going to be waiting a really long time to buy a house if they keep on waiting for prices to become reasonable, because, honestly, Phoenix is showing no sign of going lower or not growing. So
yeah. I mean, you just have to drive down a couple of streets to see it. There's building everywhere. There's apartment complexes, condo complexes, new home communities breaking ground absolutely everywhere you go. So, and our our inventory levels are at like 1.3 months inventory. Which basically means that if no other homes came onto the market, we would be completely depleted of everything we have at the current rate we're selling in 1.3 months.
Yep. Crazy.
So
absolutely crazy.
I know you know this, Alex, but for everybody else out there, a balanced market is like 4.5 months. So we are severely in a seller's market right now. And honestly, I have buyers that I've been talking to over the last couple of months. They're waiting to see what happens with the market, but they've been waiting for 2 and 3 years because the market hasn't really changed. I mean, it's continued to, be healthy for the last couple of years. And I'm looking at buyers that bought 2 and 3 years ago, and they are tickled pink that they bought 2 and 3 years ago, because I am seeing buyers that literally have $100,000 equity in their home. It depends on price point, whatnot. I'm leaving that out.
Absolutely.
But $50,000 to $100,000 equity in their home, and they've owned it for like 2 years.
Yeah, and imagine, and how many people have we worked with this year that have gotten that equity and are now buying their dream homes this year?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even count on our two hands the amount of people that we sold to 2-3 years ago that had bought, that were all starter homes, that they were first-time home buyers, and now they've expanded their family and have gotten their dream home in their dream area. I mean, and they're still getting it within a reasonable price. That's the thing. So it's exciting for a lot of people, and honestly, for the people who have been waiting, I like we were saying, just don't wait any longer, because this could be you in 2 to 3 years from now too. So.
Yeah, real estate is still, and always has been and always will be, an awesome investment. And that's how you do it. I mean, that's how you get from starter home area to move up, and then, into luxury and that kind of thing. If that's what your plan is, that's how you do it, is, buy, gain the equity, use that equity toward the next purchase. So yeah, I've been extremely proud of a lot of our buyers and sellers lately for what they've been able to achieve, because honestly, they listened to us.
They killed it.
Yeah, so that's been exciting. So in your experience, where are these buyers coming from? Are you getting, I mean, we just talked about, people who are already in Phoenix who are just moving up to the next level in housing. But is that the majority of what you're working with right now, or do you have people coming from other areas?
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely been getting people who have been coming from different states. I know we're seeing a lot of people who have been coming from California lately, Washington, Oregon, all of those West Coast states. We've also been working with a couple people coming from the East Coast as well, New York area and that. And yeah, I feel like that's kind of been like a majority of where different people are coming from. I mean, we get a lot of people from Colorado. That's always been like a normal thing. And yeah, I think that's like kind of like our hot spots of where whenever we ask, hey, where are you coming from? That's where they're coming from usually. Yeah.
Yeah, getting people from Illinois, which is pretty common. Now I've got buyers from Michigan, like you said, New York. Got buyers from New York. It's kind of nice for us to get some East Coast buyers though, right? Because we could totally relate. You're like, hey,
I know, seriously.
We're from there. It's awesome.
Yeah, you don't. It's always nice to be able to talk about that with some people when you get buyers like that from the East Coast.
It's nice. My accent ends up coming out a little bit. So what, in your experience lately, what are buyers buying with? Are you seeing a lot of cash out there? Is it conventional financing? Is FHA still a thing? Or down payment assistance? Like, what's going on with your buyers?
So it's still all over the place. I'm working with buyers with every single type of financing, whether they can buy a cash out whole, a house out whole with cash, conventional financing, or FHA. So you still, I mean, yeah, we're in a tough market, but every single type of financing is still working. Now I have clients who have sold their previous homes and have made enough money to buy their next property all cash, which is awesome. And then we have clients that are using conventional loans, whether it be 5% down, 10% down, or 20% down. We're still seeing that. And then there's also the down payment assistance program with the conventional loan. So they give you a 3% down payment assistance. So we're still seeing that. I have clients right now who just went under contract with a home, and they're doing FHA down payment assistance with 3.5% down. So you're still seeing that. And those down payment assistance programs, while they are still a little bit of a higher interest rate, they're still a lower interest rate from what we were seeing a year ago. So still, if you can take advantage of that, it makes sense. So yeah, I would instruct people, if you have a higher down payment or a higher cash, more cash in your pocket, that makes you a strong buyer. But at the same time, we are still getting, first-time home buyers with not a lot of reserves in your bank account or not a high down payment under contract. It's still very possible. So we're still seeing everything from across the board.
Are you seeing contingencies still?
Yeah, we are seeing contingencies still. And actually, we're having a good amount of success with contingencies because here's the thing. Everything's going so fast that the sellers that we're presenting our contingencies to are confident in taking the contingent offers because they know that these homes are going to go within a week or two. And then also contingent buyers, I feel like are pretty strong buyers because they're selling a home with a lot of equity, which means they're going to put a lot of money down on this next property. So I'm even encouraging to our sellers with contingent, taking contingent offers. I mean, we just got one under contract with a contingent offer because they're just coming with a lot of cash and a little bit of security too,
And I feel like they're a super motivated buyer because they're doing this most likely because they refuse to move twice, which I totally get, especially if you're a family of 2, 3, 4, you got the dog, all of that, full house full of furniture, you're homing from school. I meant schooling from home, not homing from school, but maybe it's the same thing. you're working from home, you know, like there's all of these moving parts that are going on. And so I feel like that makes our contingent buyer pretty motivated
Yeah.
to make the deal work, pretty motivated to make it work with their buyer on their end, and super motivated to make it work with the seller on the new property.
Yeah, absolutely. And our contingent buyers are that we're seeing from, you know, the listing side, they've been going great. We've been doing amazing negotiations with them because they've been allowing, you know, post possessions, because they just want to make a deal happen. You know, they've been coming out of pocket for appraisal differences, which if you guys don't understand that, that's if the property appraises for lower in value, they're coming up with the cash for the difference. So, you know, we're seeing a little bit of flexibility with those contingent buyers. So I really like it, and sellers really like it too.
Totally agree. So speaking of sellers, really it's been an absolute breeze for sellers lately. I mean, in my experience, it's been super easy to sell, maybe a little bit overwhelming with the amount of showings that a seller gets, but it's really temporary. It doesn't last very long. You know, our last couple of listings that we got under contract within a few days, I mean, the first one, we actually just closed on that earlier this week. That first one had 40 showings or something crazy like that in the first day. 40 at least were scheduled. I don't know if 40 people actually walked the threshold, but that first day we had 40 scheduled. We ended up closing the deal at $30,000 over list price. The buyer happily paid that. I mean, that was not a problem at all. Another recent listing that just went under contract over the weekend. First day, we had like 20 showings scheduled, got $20,000 over the list price on that one. Buyer's like, just did take my money.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely beautiful. Absolutely
it was absolutely beautiful. And the conversations that I'm having with these couple of buyers that are sitting the fence waiting for things to go down, which probably not going to happen, especially with this news, right? Is that, well, you know, I don't want to pay over list price. Well, what's list price anyway? Like, you know, 9 times out of 10, it's important if you want to create emotion in the buyer pool out there and you want to, as a seller, get a bidding war going, it behooves you to price right at market or even slightly under.
Yeah.
So who's to say that list price that you're looking at is the actual price that you should pay? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, gauge how much you want it. Think about it logically. Okay, so I'm taking 10 grand out of my pocket, whatever. I'm going 10 grand over the list price. For this home, I'm going to plan on being in for 3 to 5 years, and it's probably going to make up that equity in the next 6 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, be logical about this.
Honestly, you know how, let's say, Jennifer, our new build agent, you know how her buyers get excited how the equity has been growing over, you know, the 6 to 8 month period over time of the home being built. We're seeing equity grow within a 30 to 45 day contract. So that little bit of money that you're going higher in the list price, you're getting it back by the time it closes, because you're damn right that another home is closing right there for another 20 to 30,000 within the next month above list price, or another home is going to be getting listed another 10 to 20,000 above the price that you just paid for within the next 30 days. That's just what's happening. So, you know, if you're willing to get your home that you're dreaming about and that you've wanted, make it happen. It's just worth it.
And do your homework. Like, people are so, well, if the market crashes, oh, okay. Like, have you looked at the news? It's not going to crash tomorrow. That's for sure. Is it going to go down at some point? Well, yeah, because that's how life works. Like, you know, the market does do that. And that's
it's cyclical.
what happens.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Right. But you got to jump in order to play the game. You got to jump in at some point. You know, I'm a landlord myself. I have 3 properties that have tenants in them. So this doesn't make me that sad, but the rents out there are astronomical. I mean, I cannot keep a rental listing on the shelf. Can't do it. you think 40 showings in one day is crazy for a property for sale? Just wait till you have a rental listing on the market. Like,
Hey,
that's nothing.
you get 40 applications before the showings.
So true. So true. If the wind blows the right way and anybody even hears that we have a rental listing, all of a sudden applications pop up in my inbox. It's not, we're not lying. Like, that's how it goes. And you know, the rates that the rental rates people are paying out there blow my mind. So they don't want to pay over list price, which what does list price mean in the first place? They don't want to jump in while the market's too hot, but they're fine with paying $1,000 more than they should be on a rental property. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to me. Our last couple of rentals that we had went obviously within, 2.5 seconds. One of them, just off the top of my head, is like 1,800 square feet. It was a nice area in Chandler, and all day long, 2,400 a month, all day long. And it just blows my mind. Probably if I listed it a month later, it'd probably be 2,600. Who knows?
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So what are you finding? I know you spoke about the median price point a little bit in the beginning of the podcast, but what are you finding out there working with buyers are your hottest price points?
The hottest price points?
Yeah.
It's been from 330,000 to 400. Because I think that's that nice starter home pricing. I do work with a lot of first-time home buyers or actually second-time home buyers. So that's where I've been seeing, the sizing of the house kind of correlates in the areas like Gilbert, Chandler, Mesa. You're getting really nice homes still from between that price range. So that's where a majority of my buyers are at right now.
Yeah, and I'm seeing about the same thing. Anything under 300,000, like, just forget about it. Like, forget it.
It's tough. It's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah.
You better be there. You better be on top of things. In some cases, you might not even get a chance to see the property before you better put that offer in. And then just worry about seeing the property after. I mean, you have a 10-day inspection period. I know maybe for some people that's not super ideal, but you got to do what you got to do at this point. You know what I mean?
My client that we got her under contract on Friday, but she was at a max price point of 320, and every single time a property came up that she liked, we had to go see it right after she got off work. So that's just how it is. Anything below that 330,000 is just, you got to make it happen.
Yeah, you got to jump on it. You got to be aggressive. One of our previous episodes, we talked a bit about that, about being aggressive and how to write the best offer and how to be the most attractive to a seller. And I mean, we're pulling out all of those rabbits out of the hat. I mean, you had made a comment the other day, like, if somebody tells me it's their dream home, I'm getting that house. Like, that house is happening.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Because like we talked about, it's a low inventory. So when's the next time a home like that's going to come up?
Yeah.
We got to make it happen.
Right.
And if I got multiple offers, we're hounding the listing agent to A, call us before you make a decision, and B, what do I got to do to make this happen? So yeah, absolutely. Those dream homes, we're making them happen.
And it's not just the MLS that we're finding these properties either. I mean, we're not going to share it in this episode today, but we have a few other tricks up our sleeve in terms of sourcing property for our buyers. So, we're turning over every stone, but the buyers have got to meet us there, and they've got to be willing to be aggressive, and they've got to have all of their crap together and all of it to the lender, and their pre-qual letters solid and ready, their money ready. Like, it's time. Yeah. It's go time right now.
Absolutely.
I'm feeling it under 500. I think you're right. Anything under 500 right now is just very highly competitive.
Absolutely.
It's really what I'm seeing. What about luxury? In that sort of that higher price point, are we feeling the same thing? I had a few luxury clients over the last few months, and I was kind of feeling it. Depended on the product, though. Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing with luxury, and it's honestly dependent on the area. My luxury clients that are in North Scottsdale to like Desert Ridge area, That's a hot area. Central Scottsdale as well, Scottsdale Ranch, like,
Mm-hmm.
that's a hot area. You have a good product and you list it, it's gone multiple offers within a couple of days. And I'm talking about from 700 to a million in that area. You got something good. You got a beautiful pool. You got a nice remodel. You got a very well taken care of home. It's gone fast.
Yeah.
And then the same thing in Gilbert as well, and that in Queen Creek luxury homes, those are getting multiple offers as well. They're you just like you said, but those you really, the listing agents need to pay attention to really the market value of those properties, because if they price those wrong, it can be a total opposite difference in what happens with those.
In effect,
It's
yeah.
either a total opposite effect. If you price those right, they're gone quick. If you price them a little bit above, or even just a couple percentage above, it's kind of an opposite effect. You can't really do the same thing with those that you're seeing with the median price range.
Totally true. I don't know if you caught it, but as you know, for the last, 7 years now, I've been reporting every week to AZ Foothills magazine. That's kind of, upper end, upper scale magazine based out of Scottsdale. And I report the top 10 sales in the Phoenix area, like the most expensive sales each week. And I don't know if you caught it this past week, but $24 million property in Silverleaf closed.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, something like, I don't know, a couple of acres or probably
Ooh.
like a few acres, like 10 or something like that. But yeah, that was crazy, fun to look at. When you have the MLS, it's so much fun to look at all those crazy properties.
Oh, yeah. You're curious of where that money came from.
Right. Oh, I did some research. I'll tell you after.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So speaking of hot areas, that's kind of like the last little bullet point on my list here of things to talk about in terms of Phoenix housing and what's going on. You brought up Scottsdale as being a really hot area. And honestly, I've been living here for, must be close to 18 years at this point. And and Scottsdale's always been hot.
Yep.
Like, I don't know if that ever goes away.
Well, it's renowned around the country. Whenever you talk to somebody in a different state, what's the first place that comes up in their mind? They usually say Scottsdale. They don't even say Phoenix.
It's not even Phoenix.
So,
I know.
Yeah. This is where everybody's going for the bachelorette party. This is where everybody's going on a hotel relaxation. So it's the vacation spot. It's where all the dining, cuisine is, and all that type of stuff. So Scottsdale's always going to be a hot spot.
Yeah, so you're never going to go wrong no matter what in Scottsdale. I have a house there, kept it because of everything we just said. But north of that, so like you had mentioned in the Desert Ridge area, there's a couple of really cool neighborhoods in there, in that North Phoenix area, area is pretty hot right now too.
So you got 85254, which shares the schooling district with Paradise Valley. So that's the area that I was talking about earlier. That's very hot. You got a lot of young families with like 2-3 kids that are moving to that area just because of the schooling and the nice housing over there, the nice neighborhoods. It's actually absolutely gorgeous. You got Central Scottsdale to the east of the 101. That's a beautiful area with gorgeous homes. It's just where your house is. It's just pretty wherever you see left and right. Just south of that, mountain views, absolutely. You got McCormick Ranch just south of that, which is, it just keeps on expanding and expanding. And you got so much new dining and shopping over there. It's insane. And then a little bit south of that, on that Paradise Valley, Scottsdale border, you got the new Ritz-Carlton residences being built right there. And they're actually building a shopping center, town center, right next to it to go hand in hand with it. It's absolutely going crazy over there. So you're going to see a heck of a lot more shopping and dining and things that are walkable in that area. So it's pretty cool stuff that are happening over there.
For sure. And for my families to tack on to that 85050, that zip code, which is just north of Scottsdale, and that's North Phoenix. So that's going to be
Desert Ridge, right?
Little northwest of where you're talking. Yeah, that's Desert Ridge. Those communities in there are popping. I mean,
Yeah.
unbelievable. I've got a family right now that wants to get in there, and there's very little to choose from. So we've been working that a lot. What about the downtown Phoenix Arcadia area? I mean, Arcadia is always super hot.
Yeah, so Arcadia is super hot. It always is, just because of the advantage people are taking with the new building, or the equity that they build to scrap a house. Eventually, they buy an old house and then they scrap it. Eventually, build new,
Right.
because that land is so rich in equity. That land is worth so much money. So a lot of people have taken advantage of that over time. Now we're actually seeing a lot of people who are wanting to move into Arcadia area, kind of moving out to the outskirts. So Camelback East Corridor, which is like Indian School and 28th, which is an area that's seeing a lot of expansion. You still can get a home with a good price right there. You're seeing off of right in between that Phoenix Scottsdale border, off of Thomas and 56th Street, where a lot of people are getting are kind of moving out of that Arcadia area and moving a little bit south near the 202, 143, and that area is popping right there. A lot of people are moving right there, and a lot of people are getting a lot of equity over the past couple of years, buying property for cheap in that area. It's not so cheap now, though. Now regarding downtown Phoenix, we all know the Willows, the Acantos, the Coronados, but now it's actually getting closer to the downtown Phoenix cluster, which is going to be Garfield Historic District. You're seeing a lot of cute little craftsman's bungalows and ranch styles that are getting remodeled and fixed up there.
And the prices aren't that bad, honestly.
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, the prices aren't that bad, but the amount of equity people, if you got in there last year, man, you did well. And the thing that's interesting about that downtown cluster there in Oakland Historic District, I think it's Ashland and Garfield, those are, most of them are all those single family homes are zoned multifamily to duplex. So there's a luxury in that alone. You can build a guest house. You can live in one house and rent the other side. So it's really interesting what's going on right there. It's really interesting what investors and homeowners are doing with the properties over there. It's really starting to clean up and look really pretty. A lot of shopping and dining is getting built there too. So it's exciting.
Totally agree. And speaking of shopping and dining and cleaning up and building and all of that, like, whoa, where did the West Valley come in? Like, totally out of left field, came out swinging. Maybe, I don't know what, they started popping about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago. I mean, last summer, I think Surprise was like the most popular city I'd been asked about over, throughout the entire summer. Surprise was just insane last year.
Oh my gosh. You remember how many buyers we had in Surprise last year? I feel like I was like about to like buy like or get a vacation rental the amount of times I was going out there.
Right? A little timeshare over in Surprise. Yeah, so West Valley is doing great things. Over by where the Cardinals play, the Cardinals Stadium. I believe some big giant water park is coming in over there. Didn't we talk about that at a meeting a couple of weeks ago?
I think we did, yeah.
Yeah, so they're really catering to families out there. I mean, I've got a new build in Buckeye, which got to pack a lunch to go there. But you know what? It's gorgeous out there. It's a little bit of a drive. But this particular community where my guy's building is beautiful. It's got tons of amenities, a little clubhouse, little snack area, that kind of thing. And it's just really nice and quiet out there.
And driving to Buckeye is honestly not that bad because you just go down the 10.
Right.
It's not like you're going like through all these different turns and all this. You just go down the 10, you get off in the exit and you're there. You're in Buckeye. So it's not all that bad.
So true. It's really not. But specifically, like closer to my location, I have watched Ahwatukee change over the last couple of years, especially since the 202 connects now to the West Valley. Have you been on that yet?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's a beautiful freeway.
It is. I enjoy driving on it.
Yeah, and it really connects, I live in Ahwatukee, obviously, and it really connects us to the West Valley, which is great. I can get, like, when I'm going to Buckeye, I really shave, quite a bit of time off of, if I had to go up and around, I
Yeah.
shave quite a bit of time off it, just shooting west on that 202. And I've
Yeah. I
noticed
mean, you miss the downtown Phoenix traffic, which is
the whole thing.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it just goes right around it. It's really amazing. It's actually perfectly placed. But I've noticed our inventory levels in Ahwatukee have depleted quite a bit since that was put in place. Of course, there's other reasons that people like the Ahwatukee area, but now I think one of the reasons that they're adding to it is we're no longer considered out of the way. Like, now that we have, we've always had the 10, but now that we have the 202 going both directions, like, it's a lot more accessible to be in Phoenix's largest cul-de-sac right now.
Absolutely.
So lots of fun stuff, lots of building, actually, which you would think Ahwatukee's all built out, but we've got a couple of communities that are building also, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and the cool thing is there's still plenty of shopping, dining, and grocery stores and everything. I mean, everything in Ahwatukee is pretty convenient. So I love always going down there.
Yeah, Christmas time at 48th and R.E.A.L. I don't even take R.E.A.L because you can't get through the traffic there. So there's definitely a lot of restaurants and things, like you're saying. Gilbert, right? Like, are there words? Are there words for Gilbert?
I think everybody already knows that one. Yeah. I mean, Gilbert, you're seeing building everywhere, and you're seeing everybody move there.
Yeah.
And downtown Gilbert is awesome. I mean, you got all the popular restaurant that's all over the valley. They put it all in that cluster right there. I mean, you got Oso, Whiskey Row. You got
Postino's.
what's that? Postino's. You got everything
Barrio
that you'd
Queen.
want. Yeah, absolutely. It's just a perfect little cluster. So yeah, Gilbert's awesome. Gilbert's doing amazing.
And listings do not stick around in Gilbert, I tell you that. Well,
Not at all.
Chandler's a close second. I mean, downtown Chandler's doing pretty well. They've got, talk about food. Downtown Chandler has some amazing restaurants. The Brick House. Have you gone to the Brick House?
I love the Brick House. They'd have those little small plates, the tapa style.
Tapas. Yeah.
Oh. What is
it?
It's the tuna tartare there, I think, with the little crackers. Yeah, that's so good. Yeah.
One time we went with another couple and we ordered one of everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it was amazing. So absolutely everything they make is great. But downtown Chandler's really, really grown. They've got some cool things to do down there. Great nightlife.
Yep.
And Chandler's popping too. I mean, in every direction in the East Valley, really. Mesa always holds its own, but that Eastmark area is, I wish Jax was still here. He decided that we're too boring for him, Alex. He left, but I wanted to ask him about his, from a kid's perspective, going to Eastmark, because we've got a friend that lives in Eastmark. Okay, so it's JD, and we were at her kid's birthday party last week, and it was outside, so we could social distance and not share our germs, which was great. And they just have these cool parks, and their pool area is so amazing, and they have their own diner, and they have a really cool clubhouse with game rooms and meeting rooms, and I mean, it's just unbelievable. Have you been out there lately?
Yeah, I mean, you got everything under one roof, like in every single neighborhood. They just made it like amazingly convenient for all the families out there that moved there. I mean, you got everything there. You get, like you said, you got the pools, the clubhouses, everything. So it's amazing what they did there. They really thought out that community.
And it's so attractive to families, and with good reason. And honestly, like, talk about our clients, that we have some clients that are currently building that, like you said, are like, oh my God, they had another price increase at the builder. Oh my God, we just gained X amount of equity. And that's where several of our clients actually have done so well, because they built in Eastmark like a couple of years ago or whatever. And now they're moving to some other location. We have some that are actually moving out of state, job transfers, whatnot. So various reasons, but they're making out with some pretty damn good bank, and it's exciting.
Oh yeah, everybody's coming out with equity building there.
And then, lastly, the Queen Creek Santan Valley area.
Yeah.
So I'm no stranger. Okay. So I've been doing this for an awfully long time. Queen Creek was probably the only place I showed property for a good part of the beginning of my career. So I'm super familiar with the area. I don't live there. So I don't go there, as much as I used to. But every time I'm there, I'm like, oh, well,
Yeah.
it's growing and there's new stuff. There's a new road. There's,
Yeah.
all kinds of things going on down there.
There's freaking traffic.
There is freaking traffic. I get stuck in it, but they're fixing that, thankfully.
Yeah. Well,
And,
yeah. I'm just like surprised because I used to just cruise right down there, and then now I'm like,
and there never used to be. Yeah.
there's so many people here now. Yeah, it's insane. It's awesome. And then slowly, like Queen Creek and Santan are just meeting right in the middle. Like they're just expanding so much. I mean, they're building so much. It's great. And talk about like nice restaurant and dining there. They've got it all now there. So
They do.
It's amazing.
They do. I mean, it used to be that if you lived in Queen Creek, you traveled to the valley for everything, and work and all that, but it's not like that anymore. And with our push to work from home with what's going on in the world, it is making sense to people if they don't have to travel because the grocery store is close and they don't have to commute for work and stuff. Why not go out where it's a little bit less expensive to get a huge house or, a house that can accommodate your needs?
Talk about that median price range, that 330, 350 or 330 to 400. The home that you can get there is absolutely gorgeous. And these homes are all built in, 2010, 2015 or new. So, you're getting homes with a couple-year-old roofs, couple-year-old AC units, and they're right at that sweet spot where you're getting a beautiful home, for that great price.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Alex. Well, I think that's enough information for today. What do you think?
I think so.
Awesome. Well, as always, everybody, please do us a favor. Please like, subscribe, listen to us on whatever platform your podcast listening desires are. I don't know, whatever platform that you listen to your podcasts on. Please do download our episodes if you like us, because that helps us move up a little bit in ranks. It doesn't count if you just if you just listen to the episode. Downloading is really where it's at. So please do that for us, and let's get the news out to the people. So if you know of anybody that is even a little bit interested in the real estate market here in the Phoenix area, share this podcast with them. We are here every 2 weeks. We are giving you what is going on in our market real time. And then also we sometimes have special guests that we talk with. We usually have Alex. We get to see Alex quite a bit, but sometimes we have other guests, and I have heard we have Holly Parker coming up as a guest in a future episode to talk about pest control, which a lot of people in the Phoenix has some bugs, right?
Yep.
So a lot of people in the Phoenix area have to deal with it, and she has awesome tips and tricks and great answers to all the questions. So looking forward to that. Alex, it was awesome. Thank you again.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.